All right, welcome back. It's Friday, the week in review. We got a special XRP developer in the house. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm sitting here with the one and only Chris Dangerfield's in the house. Chris, how are you, man?
Oh, well, thank you, Brad. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Now, listen, you're doing good. You're doing good. I'm not doing good. You're doing good. You're working with XRPL Commons. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
So, look, we're doing everything we can out here to bring awareness to the XRP ledger. But you've gone one step further, Chris, and I think this is so amazing what you've done. Please tell everybody what you have created for everyone.
Right, okay. Well, I have created a video-based tutorial series that I've launched on Udemy. The goal is for it to be the video instruction course that I wish that existed when I started developing on the ledger like 6 years ago. The key important things to note are that Udemy is a big online learning platform, and it's quite big with developers. And if you look at what the top-selling Ethereum course has achieved on Udemy, it's had like 150,000 developer buys. And that's massive numbers, right? And so my thought process was, we are dropping the ball by not even being present. Like if you search for XRP on Udemy, the most you get is someone trying to teach you how to buy it, which is not very helpful for a developer that actually wants to learn how to build on it. So the goal is to build a course that's not geared towards the people that already know about the XRP ledger. Okay, there are plenty of resources like written good documentation that developers can go to. The goal is to use Udemy as a mechanism to attract developers from outside of the ecosystem, perhaps coming from Ethereum or Solana, or maybe just Web 2 more generally, and they just want to come in and find out, I've got this client that wants to build on blockchain and they need to know what's a good blockchain to build on. Well, right now, when you type blockchain into Udemy, XRPL is not even in the top 30 pages of results, okay, which is not good enough. We've got to put ourselves at that top page along the lines of Ethereum and Solana and Bitcoin if we want to be taken serious by these thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of developers that are out there looking for solutions to build on. So that's what I've done. I've built the course, and now I've reached out to you on the basis of asking you for help. I did that because I saw a video that you did a month or so back where you were championing development on the ledger. And I said, right, I'm going to get in touch with that guy and I'm going to ask him for help. And here we are. You've been very gracious and offered to put me on your channel and give me an opportunity to speak to people and put the message out there. So I really thank you for the opportunity. And yeah, that's what I've done. I've put the course out and now it's time to get this thing marketed. And let's put the XRPL on the map along the lines of the Ethereum and the Solana courses that are out there.
I think it's a wonderful idea. And, you know, I was so receptive. And look, we've had a chance to work together, too, when we worked together with 2ticks, right? So, or BPM. So, yeah, very, very good experience. I had a great time working with you. You're certainly an incredible resource and knowledgeable developer yourself. Now, you don't work directly for XRPL Commons. That's correct, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so you're more like an ambassador kind of vibe. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I'm an independent developer.
Okay, yeah.
For a number of different projects, and I have essentially a collaboration or partnership with XRPL Commons to try and bring good quality educational content to the masses.
I want to share a story of my life and business, and I want this to be relatable to the audience because you don't have to be a developer to build on the XRP ledger, and I'm about to tie all this in. First of all, I'm going to go buy your course on Udemy when we get done here today. I'm going to go support you and buy that, right? Now, I'm not a developer, and I'm not interested in being a developer, but I'm going to share a story. I have developed an app in my business life, and it was in a different sector that I can't say on YouTube, but I did that because there were medical patients in our state that needed knowledge So I designed an app that would create that knowledge that was interactive, that you could touch and interactive. I hired a developer and I built the app to serve this new industry that was coming to my state and medical patients in my state, right? This interactive body map that I created you could touch in different parts of the body, and it would tell you recommendations about what to try based on those different ailments, those qualifying ailments on that body map. Now, the reason I'm sharing that is because, for one, I know the frustrations of building something, right? Even if you're not a developer. I understand what that is. I understand what it's like to walk into 25 or 30 banks and do a business pitch for $250,000 and be pushed out of the bank. I've done that too, right? So this is when I'm coming from this angle for people out here, I want them to understand you may be the person like I was 10 years ago, and I had a great idea, but I wasn't a developer, right? It doesn't mean that you can't build your great idea. You could seek out a developer, get them to use the Udemy course because you want it done on the XRP ledger, and have your idea built into fruition like that. That's how this happens. I've done it. It wasn't on the XRP ledger, but I did it. That's exactly what I did because I'm not a developer. I couldn't even tell you what time it is, right? So, all I'm saying is that there is a path forward even if you're not a developer. If you have a great idea, go get a developer, tell them to get this course and do the building that you want for your idea. But more importantly, developers and builders, if you want to get attention for your project or idea, make sure that you have built something that myself and everyone else out here on the planet needs to use every single day. And whatever they're currently using today, this makes more sense to use it because you've built it on the XRP ledger. I'll say the XRP Tipbot is the best development that I have seen on the XRP ledger for the general public to date. And it's not currently in operation. It's a travesty, right? Because that is your greatest sales pitch and business card for every developer and every regular human being in the world to understand that this thing is out here being used every single day. There's your greatest promotion. There's your greatest billboard. Build me something that I can use every day to solve a real problem, like sending somebody crypto for a tip or just in general, right? That app is amazing. I hope Weedsay brings it back, and I hope he charges double or triple what he wasn't charging before, because he wasn't charging anything. And the world doesn't run on free, Chris. That's why I'm going to go buy your course. And that's another thing. We need to stop demonizing developers for not building something that doesn't cost anything. The world doesn't run on free. You guys are busting your ass every day, right? And you can't be asking for free things unless you have a great idea that you're willing to put together and build and execute, right? And at the same time, people can't expect you to offer it for free so they can use it for nothing. That's just not how the world has worked to date. And I don't see the world ever working that way in the future, right? So I'm here and I meant what I said, and I was happy to come together with you and bring you on the channel and other developers too. Is one caveat that I have for that is I won't celebrate anybody that attacks others, but you're not that guy. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help XRPL Commons and every other developer that has their head down, shoulder to the grindstone, and working on creating something that we can all use every day that will help to build from the grassroots up. Because I think we're about to see the legislation we need to connect the top down. And that is going to cause a real point of inflection and friction. And I know that you know this, Chris, right? We're getting ready to see so many companies move on to the ledger once legislation happens. There's going to be a ton of friction that's going to be found there that needs to be solved, right? And the last thing people want to do is be going to get the Udemy course after that moment. You want to go get that course right now so you can be educated on how to build on the ledger. So when that moment comes, you're the guy building it. You're the girl building it.
Sure. Well, on that point then, if we take the premise then that at some point in the future, hopefully not very long, you'll achieve this inflection point you're talking about, there will at that point be a drive from entrepreneurs and business to build on the ledger. There will undoubtedly then be a shortage of qualified developers. Okay, plenty of people would be able to do it on Ethereum and using smart contracts and Solidity. But in terms of the XRPL, we will very quickly run dry of developers. So making sure that we've got a bigger pool of developers is just good sense. So on that basis, what I've got to try and do now is the course is complete. It has value outside of developers. So a number of people that have already bought it are not developers and have messaged me privately to say how much they actually got from just watching and learning some of the theory behind it. So you learn all about consensus and the importance of an account on the XRPL and how architecturally it's different to other chains. And you can then from that infer the benefits. So if you've got an idea for building a business or you're entrepreneurial, there's value to you in just understanding the types of things you could do. You don't need to be the person that does it, but you need to be able to see, yeah, we could use that building block and think of it like a Lego kit. And I could use that and I could use that. And all I need is someone to come together and actually put it together for me. So there's value to that type of person in the audience. And of course, then we need to get the number of developers that are essentially qualified to build on the ledger up as quickly as we can. And on that point, the top selling Ethereum course has had like over 150,000 buys on Udemy, which is a lot of potential developers in there that will now be potentially building with Solidity on that chain. And other courses like Solana have had also big numbers as well. We haven't. If we were only to achieve 1% of what the top selling Ethereum course has done, we would onboard close to 1,500 new developers to the XRPL ecosystem, which by my calculations, and bearing in mind there's no official number, you get different answers from different people. In my opinion, 1,500 new developers would more than double the number of developers we've got that are actively building currently on the XRP ledger. And if we did that, the effect of that alone would be quite profound. And then if you imagine what would happen if those numbers scaled 2%, 3%, 10%, the number of developers that are then qualified, and you bring all of that together with people that have got ideas that want to build, and then you have a great recipe for something special, I think.
I really think that's correct. And I really do, Chris. I really do. And when you combine the fact that, and listen, I'm not throwing shade on Ethereum because Ethereum has a great use case. Smart contracts are a great use case, and that's why you've seen a huge demand there. But let's not discount the fact that there's another reason we've seen that big explosion on that network, and it is because they got a free pass from the Securities Exchange Commission and Bill Hinman, right? And that is let builders know you won't be sued if you build on this network, which is now looking that it's not quite accurate. Ethereum now has some trouble because they did cut corners. But luckily for us, there's been a bridge built from the Ethereum network to the XRP ledger. Hello, Axelar, right? So I see this exodus coming where some of these builders that are already established on Ethereum are going to want to move off that network if the legal troubles end up turning out like the legal troubles we've had to deal with almost 3 years now, right? Because this is I just want to cite this because this is harming the attraction of developers, right? I'm not going to want to pour my money and my investment, right? If I'm a VC investor, I'm not going to want to pour my money into an unproven network that's still got a court case hanging over its head, right? And a guy like Gary Gensler. So you guys aren't just working from a position of trying to make people aware, right? You're having to fight through negative press, right? And all this negative overshadowing from the SEC in the court case. And then, of course, the lack of clarity from Congress not doing their job in the United States, providing a clear path forward. We get those things while at the same time you're educating people. These things are going to end up coming together. You know, I mean, they're going to hit one another, and we will see that explosion. I love the fact that you're doing this now, Chris, because as you suggested, you are creating this, you're trying to create this bed of developers that are educated about the ledger. So when that moment comes, we're not running out of developers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you hit on a key point. the goal of this course is not to try and shout out to the world, the XRPL is the greatest thing since sliced bread and you should come and build every single thing in the world on it.
Exactly.
It's to say to sensible developers that have been in the game a long time, look, the XRP ledger is different to other chains. And there are some things that the XRP ledger does, which they're just a no-brainer to build certain types of things using the XRP ledger. Okay, it's fixed function. Okay, it's different. The key point is when you put good quality information in front of educated people, they can make a choice.
That's right.
Okay, right now we are not getting the good quality information about what the XRP ledger is, where its strengths are. We're not getting that in front of those developers. Many of them don't even know the XRPL exists, or to them it's just one of another chain, and they don't realize that for things like payments, it's super fast, super cheap, and an obvious, I consider it like any developer is going to say, well, I've got a database that I use. I've got a front-end environment I'm going to use. I know what I'm going to use on my back end. Well, at some point, the world is going to move where blockchain just becomes part of that tool bag. Okay, and you want to know that, yeah, smart contracts are important, and smart contracts have an absolute use case. But there are some things that you will do on the XRP ledger that are better than doing it with a smart contract. And it's just letting developers know that actually, no, that thing that you're about to build, you would be better off doing it on the XRP ledger. And with the way interoperability is going to work between chains in the future, you may choose to build your project using a number of different technologies and be using interoperability between them. Right now, we just have an education deficit within the XRP ledger community. And this course is there to just say to developers, look, the XRPL exists. This is what it does. This is how you use it. When you come to your next project, at least have it in your mind that it is a potential option that you could look to choose. And if I can do that, then I think we'll have delivered a very valuable resource to the community.
No question about it. Chris, I'm going to make sure that I get the link from you for your Udemy course and XRPL Commons and all the necessary information and links so I can put them below this video when it posts. Chris Dangerfield, thank you, my friend, for being here today.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Don't go anywhere, my friend. That's what we got right here. We'll catch all of you on the next one.
Yes.